Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Detroit Become Human. I am Circle Master, and joining me for this finale episode of the finale, Valorie Curry.
For the finale episode of the finale. Yes. Hi.
This is a weird game where there's a lot of build up, and then everything gets resolved in like 2 episodes.
Okay.
The right to assembly is suspended. All electronic communications are restricted.
So here we have President Warren. I guess they're forecasting that Elizabeth Warren is going to get elected at some point.
In addition to these measures,
so.
all androids
and
must
she's
be handed over to
announcing the genocide of all robots. So that's a fun thing.
Camps are being set up in all our major cities.
Also disparaging. I don't think she would do that, but it's fine. This is fake Warren.
The character in the game is doing this.
I know, fake Warren, not real Warren. Real Warren would not do that.
Yeah. Well, you don't know if Terminator happened in the robot uprising where they tried to murder us all. I think that a self-defense thing would be appropriate.
Well, I guess we know how you're playing this game then.
Well, actually, no. I'm doing the super peaceful route.
I guess we know how you would play the game if people weren't watching.
Assure you they will soon be apprehended.
So, to be fair, I did the peaceful route my first time through the game as well.
Okay, all right, but because you thought it would be most effective, and you were probably right?
Because, mostly because Good Boy Connor.
Androids working on sensitive sites have been neutralized, and all IT systems have been suspended to avoid.
And I didn't want them to be,
the situation
fighting at the end. Connor and Marcus, that is.
Madam President.
Got it.
So, I do have
that is known as
one question from something that we saw a couple episodes ago. Was we had to reveal that Alice is a robot.
Did you just call her a robot?
Yes.
Not a robot?
No information on that at this
time. This is the meme. Deal with it.
Oh, robot?
Yeah. So
we are from the same place. I don't know what that dialect is.
I wanted to get your perspective on that particular story point of Kara has been taking care of what she believed to be a human child this whole time, and then the human child turns out to be a robot in disguise.
I think it's obviously like a cool twist for the audience in the sense that they are attached to her in a particular way, and then I think it's just meant to sort of test the bounds of our empathy for the androids and whether or not it makes a difference that she is not in fact human. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a cool twist. I mean, other than the fact that she never ate, I thought that like it wasn't like I still felt like it was a surprise, you know. It's interesting. I remember when I saw it though, it was different than what I envisioned when we were actually filming it, because I think what either this is just what David wanted me to see or wanted me to imagine, David Cage, or if it was actually like a change in terms of the concept. You know, when that moment happens at Jericho, when you're playing the game, it's because you see another little girl and she turns her head and she's got the light, the LED on the side of her head.
Thanks.
And it was really sad what he told me it was going to be, and I can see why they would have made the decision to change it, was that it was going to be another little girl, a very similar kind of setup, another little Alice android, and in profile, and then when she turned her face, like it was going to it would be like half of her face was missing, and you would see all the machinery underneath. Yeah, because there were so many damaged androids at Jericho, you know. So you would see all the machinery underneath. So it was the sort of like the 1-2 punch of not only is she not real, but I'm also seeing her like horribly disfigured, you know. And that was what I was seeing for myself when we were shooting it. Like I say, I can totally understand why the creative decision would have been made to change it.
To be less horrifying.
Just less horrifying, yeah, because at least in my mind it was pretty awful. And I think that's just, it wasn't necessary in order for that reveal to happen effectively, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
what did you think?
Well, you answered a lot in the perspective of somebody playing the game, as opposed to
level 31.
The character of Kara, or like the story narratively. And
well, I mean, the same thing. It's Kara's sort of experience with it is the same thing that the audience has. You know, she talks to Luther then, and he basically presents her with he presents her with the challenges she's having, wherein, you know, does it really make a difference? You know, which of course she decides it does not. But I think in a way it's like it's really beautiful for Kara, because there's she had a love for this child that I think, you know, she doesn't have that kind of feeling for anyone else, and I think there's a possibility that could only exist because it's a human child. And so the idea that she can feel this love for her also, like, there's something reciprocal in that, you know what I mean? The possibility for true, like, love, friendship, family between androids, but also for herself. You know, she can see herself in the same way. Yeah, it humanizes her in her ability to love. I don't know if humanizes is the wrong word, you know what I mean? But yeah, in her ability to love, Alice, and knowing that she is an android. It humanizes herself. It humanizes all other androids.
See, I really don't like the plot twist of.
Okay, why?
Of that, because it
sub 49.
First of all, because after the plot twist was revealed, you see flashbacks where it is demonstrated that the game has intentionally lied to the player in order to pull this off. Because you get flashbacks of Todd's house, and it seems that the player acted out, but they have been changed to now match up with reality, as opposed to Kara's delusion.
Well,
except
I think
that it was from before she went deviant, so why does she have a delusion?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember the way that Dave described it, because you're right. I know what you mean, the idea that she actually sees the sort of brochure, but it doesn't,
she sees
it doesn't register with her?
Not only the brochure, but also in the mail pile, there is a bill of your payment for your child android has been overdue or whatever.
I'm not actually sure what the justification with that is. I think David had a sort of justification about the fact that she isn't sentient at that point, so what she is aware of and what she takes in or has any kind of like judgments about is extremely limited. You know what I mean? It's like it's sort of just whatever the task at hand is. So she's not necessarily, you know, taking in or having a point of view about what she sees on a brochure. She's just organizing what's on the table. Do you know what I mean? Because she has the same reaction with like drugs and whatnot. Like she doesn't contextualize the information that's around her in any way. You know what I mean? Right. And she also, like, she's had her, and in terms of like losing that specific information when she does become sentient, obviously there's the argument that we take in very little of what's around us as sentient beings all the time anyway, you know?
Yeah, that's because we have an organic brain that does a lot of filtering.
Well, I was going to say she's also had, you know, numerous factory resets and has lost memory from previous, you know, violence as well, you know? So I don't think she's, you know, it demonstrates something in terms of like how reliable she is, or how reliable her memory and her information is from the time before she becomes deviant.
I didn't do anything! Shut up, I said! Are there many more? Look at them, they're like rats. The more you look, the more you find. Oh, we don't have to spend the night here.
The other thing I was going to bring up is you mentioned that it humanizes her, that an android can love an android. Except we already have that between Marcus and North.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Kara.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about it serving a certain storyline. Like, theoretically, the storylines are all characters having their own experiences and journeys and, like, personal evolution of, like, sentience and consciousness, and emotion in particular for Kara. So, yeah, I think she deals a lot throughout the game with even how much what she thinks of herself, because she's constantly being told by other people what she is or how little she is, you know? So she thinks of Alice as other, and more special and whatnot. And so for her to realize that this being that she has this depth of feeling for is like her, you know, allows a certain like I said, it allows for her to have that kind of feeling for herself, for other androids, or other androids to have, you know what I mean? It gives her a little bit more kind of like personal sovereignty. And yeah, you might see that between Marcus and other people, but that's a completely different story.
Well, you also see it between Kara and Luther.
I just want to go home.
I would argue it's totally different though, and not to the same degree.
I'm not sure what the game wants me to do. All I have is camera control.
Oh, are you being asked to play while you're asking questions? I'm gonna jump in a minute.
I think I just failed at saving Luther, which stinks.
Fucking androids.
Oh no! Wait, where are we right now?
We're trying to get to the bus depot. We saw Luther, and I've...
Did he get shot?
Find a weapon. I have a weapon. Let me shoot somebody. I have a gun. All I have is camera control right now. What is going on? Oh, I have a gun, but it wants me to throw a brick for some reason. No, there's Luther. I didn't fail yet. I guess that was scripted.
Oh shit! I remember this.
Carol, you shouldn't risk your life.
Stealth. That's why.
This is a sneaking mission.
She's hiding nearby.
Super sneaky.
We don't know how to thank you.
Go before they see you.
Alice.
Hair looks very silver in this scene.
I thought you were dead.
But no, my
I was afraid
my main complaint about it is that
but they caught me along the way.
There's a lot of opportunities in the game for androids to look out for other androids, and very few for androids and humans to interact. And you kind of get the sense, especially playing as Marcus, that for some reason zero humans are ever sympathetic to the androids. There's like, in the big march scene, there's no humans. All he does is bring a bunch of androids along. And in reality, there would be, even a minority, there would be, like, oh, even if it is a minority, I should say, there would be some human sympathizers who are on the android side. And
well, I
we
think,
never
yeah,
see
I think
that.
Rose is at, well, I think Rose is asked to carry that, the weight of that role.
Yeah, but like you said, we have a much closer connection to Alice, given that we've spent the entire game with her, and it's like the arguably strongest connection between humans and androids, and then that's undercut by the fact that, no, everybody be with your own kind of a thing.
That's not what I took from it. I see what you mean, but
because
that's not what I
at this
took
point in
from
the
it at
game,
all.
Connor and Hank have split up, and Connor's either a deviant or staying machine side. He is
We have passports.
departed from Hank at this point and acting on his own. So we lose the Connor-Hank thing as a crossover between humans and androids.
Might be safer.
Kara was all that was left, and then we lost that.
Well, I would argue that it's not about that. I think I see what you mean, but like, you know, I stand by what I said in terms of the importance of who she is in terms of how Kara conceives of her own identity and self-worth, and that's what that's more of what this story is about. Definitely for Kara, but I think for other characters as well, it's more about their own evolution into consciousness and sentience and what that means. It's a much more personal journey than it is necessarily. I mean, obviously, like Marcus, it's about like the rights and whatnot, but all of these external circumstances just serve to sort of reveal themselves to themselves. Yeah. Oh, and here we go. It's getting rough.
Stay calm.
What's going to happen? How does he see through that helmet? Can we talk about this?
It's probably some sort of
Something wrong?
HUD display or
She's not used to seeing soldiers.
something like that. I mean, you can kind of see a little pinhole in the helmet on one side. It's probably a camera.
There are deviants around, and our guys are nervous. You should hurry on home.
Thanks.
You know, it's future tech. They've got hollow sights on their guns. They obviously
They're gonna kill us.
they obviously have a lot of excess
They're gonna shoot.
technology.
They're gonna kill Alice.
Oh, what is going to happen? What are you going to do? You're doing nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You would think a coat that fancy, or vest that fancy, I should say, would have a hood. It does have a hood. Why is my hood not up? I'm getting snowed on.
So you can show off your cool hairstyle that the player picked out.
It is very cool. The silver is...
Everybody likes the white/silver, yeah.
To you live from Detroit, where thousands of androids are
Also, lots of people are talking in the chat, and I can't look over because there's QT and stuff, so I'm sorry.
Luther is stressing people out. Nord1C Ducky says, also, if there was actually an issue with an android uprising, you'd think the authorities would round them all up and decommission them or, like, wipe their programming. Not waste money and manpower sending out stormtroopers to shoot them dead in the streets, potentially putting civilians in danger and causing property damage with stray rounds. I would also argue, Nord1C Ducky, that we don't have any evidence in this game that once an android has become deviant, that you have the ability to wipe them or decommission them. You know what I mean? You can shut them down mechanically, but I don't think you can reset something that's already, and like still have a functioning android that's already become deviant.
Yeah, there's one line in the Zlatko chapter that I don't even know if it's true or not because it comes from Zlatko and he turns out to be a baddie. Where he says that androids that go deviant.
Like it was such a warm start.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's the most obvious baddie in the world. But he claims that 1, all androids have tracking devices, and 2, all deviants have their tracking devices shut down mysteriously. So there's supposedly some sort of safety check. And then in the prologue with Connor, we had he asked the cop about the deviant's shutdown code or whatever, and they were like, we tried it and it didn't work. So like obviously robots have shutdown codes of some sort.
Yeah,
deactivation
no,
codes.
totally. Ducky is now saying, but what they mean is that you could do it in private, not shooting them in public for people to see. Well, I think that's what happens when they set up the camps that we obviously did not end up at with Kara, but that's one of the possible places that she ends up if she does. I think it's if she doesn't go to the bus depot. There's essentially
it depends
android
on how things
concentration
go
camps,
down
and they
in
have a
Jericho.
plan for that as well. I'm sure that that's definitely preferable for them as well.
But yeah, that's the other thing is that they've set up these elaborate concentration camps and are rounding up androids and placing them, you know, alive and active into the concentration camps before they all get shut down, but also shooting them in the street for some reason. It's like, why are they not just taking them all to the concentration camp or shooting them all in the street?
Well, to be fair, you know, the marching Marcus crew don't seem to be, like, I think it just seems to be a matter of time efficiency and effectiveness. If they're out marching in the streets and things, like any potential imminent threat just gets taken down. Kara's not like, you know, she doesn't seem to be overtly.
I don't know, she's the only one that's armed at this point. I guess Connor might still be armed.
Yes, she's armed and she got a brick.
I know, she just really wanted more weapons. She's like, I can't.
Here's what it was, though.
Best friend gun is too good for this soldier. I'm going to hit him with a brick instead.
I'm actually going to explain why it was a brick and why she didn't use the gun. It's because he referred to the fact that there were other, like, soldiers nearby. And if she
I must have
shot
missed
him,
that. Yeah.
It would have made a lot of noise, and she needed to be quiet. Hence her stealthy sneak up behind him.
That's true.
And then the quiet thud of brick on head. Although it probably would have been louder with that helmet. It looked intense.
I mean, the fact that it worked through the helmet. Oh, I'm supposed to be doing something. Jeez. The game, that's one thing. This game is not good at telling you when you have control in these dramatic shots.
It's snowing. That's how you know the wind. The wind is blowing the snow across the ground and nothing else is happening.
I was just waiting for cutscene or something.
I agree, Hosmosh. It would be anticlimactic if they went down the street with remote controls. But if you want to see something kind of like that, watch The Tick Season 2 now on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that dropped yesterday, didn't it?
It did. They always like to drop it a little bit early. There is some good remote action that I won't say anything else about. But yeah, slightly different context. Definitely funnier.
I mean, can you imagine?
We're doing a sit-in.
Can you imagine if this sit-in was happening and there's this tense stare down and then all of a sudden the Tick walks by? Greetings, citizens.
Hold your fire.
Oh, the Tick would sit. If he could get himself into that position.
I'm not sure he would have the self-awareness to see what's going on. I think he would walk in the middle and ask what was going on because he didn't understand.
Bring you live updates. Josh Douglas.
Seamless segue. Thanks. I agree, Hosmosh.
We hold out.
What's happening now? Is this?
I think we're going to transition. Yep, we're
Good
transitioned.
hair. She's got such good hair.
Here we have the millions of other robots. Whoops.
Was this just like a warehouse?
This is CyberLife headquarters, I guess. Except in their storage basement, they have just a million free-floating robots that aren't like packed up or anything. Like all
Hey,
the other
Westworld
robots.
does the same thing.
No, but like again,
basement.
earlier in the game, we've seen robots like in packages, in crates, in some kind of container for transport or sale or whatever, and now they're just all standing around here, standing.
Well, these ones apparently haven't been packaged yet. Why waste packaging just for storage? You know, why not package just when it's going to market? You gotta be efficient.
Also,
Piece of shit.
at this
we
point,
waking everybody up? Oh,
we're
all
trying
these
to,
dudes
but
look
apparently
the same.
Connor now has the same brainwashing power that Marcus has.
What?
Marcus has been the one brainwashing all the androids to convert them this whole game, and now that Connor's here, suddenly Connor has the ability to brainwash and convert androids.
I thought that was just waking them up.
No, it specifically said convert.
Oh.
So brainwashing is just a thing that androids can
So
do
even when
to
you're
each other.
Even when you're sentient, you don't get your own agency or consciousness. Oh, somebody's saying they think that that's because Connor is an updated model, and that Connor and are you saying
there's
that
actually
Connor and Marcus are the same model? Is what they're saying.
They're not
I'm
the
just
same
saying.
model, for one thing. They
I'm
specifically.
just reading you what is in the chat stream.
I understand, and I'm responding to this. And also, I'm not sure where to go, so I'm going to R2 it. Oh, I don't have any objectives. Great. I'm just going to wander around then.
Is this the bus depot?
It is, and everybody's like, only people with tickets are allowed, and we put up a fence.
What are those weird funnel things doing at a bus depot? The infrastructure in this town is very strange at this point.
Yeah, I don't find tickets. Oh, there we go. There it is.
Oh,
I'm looking for the marker all over the place, and I finally found it.
I think you like go to the bathroom and somebody drops tickets.
Oliver likes you.
No, I found a woman with a
Spoiler.
baby.
Oh, you're gonna take them from this lady, yeah.
Yours? Yes.
Little baby
She's
pickpocket.
adorable.
That's it. Got the sandwiches. I called your mom. Let's get going before we miss our bus.
I agree. It's not fair that Kara didn't get those powers. There is a lot that is justified by her being theoretically an older model or like a house servant model.
No, what I was gonna say is that.
No, I'm reading
Marcus,
this is off the comments.
Yeah.
I'm answering.
I know, and I want to go back to what I was trying to say before.
Oh shit! Somebody's coming in with Marcus is an RK200. Connor is an RK800.
Yeah, Marcus was like a one-off that was specifically designed for Lance Henriksen as a present for Lance Henriksen from the guy who invented androids. And Connor is like the latest and greatest.
The envelope, Mr.
Right.
Holland.
So they're not at all the same model, but apparently, but no, brainwashing is just a thing that every android can do to every other android. And David Cage had a really dumb reason for it that he revealed in a Reddit post, Ask Me Anything thing.
Sorry.
What did he say?
That I don't have the exact quote pulled up right now because I'm obviously doing this.
You just didn't like it.
No, he said that when he's converting, when Marcus or anybody is converting androids,
I don't know what happened. They
he
were right
is
here in my back.
sending them an overwhelming feeling of desire for freedom that is waking them up or something like that. So he's just like giving them an emotional high.
I mean, that's a great power.
But
like arm
any
ecstasy.
android can do this. Can
Got your tickets?
transmit the same
Here they are.
emotional high, but it doesn't make sense.
A deviant android. Right? A deviant android?
I don't. That's the thing, is that you don't know. I mean, obviously, the deviant android is the one that has the motivation to do this. But
I don't know. It was not explained to me because Kara didn't do it.
Yeah, Kara gets left out in the cold in many ways.
What happened to that family and their baby?
That was a joke about her being covered in snow right now.
Die because of us?
Constantly. It's my frosting.
No.
I didn't see what she asked, so I'm just gonna reassure her.
She's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about the baby?
The baby's not our problem. We have enough problems.
I thought you were playing this like the super
I'm playing peaceful market. Yeah.
Peaceful
oh no, they're gonna have to spend
Kara.
more money on bus tickets. They have actual jobs and rights. They can afford it.
Yeah, it was interesting when they're like, we gotta get Oliver to a safe place. I'm like, is Oliver an android baby? What is Oliver?
We didn't see the LED, but apparently that for Kara, it's an issue that she doesn't see them.
Was that what it was, that I just don't see it on Alice, or she doesn't have one?
No, she doesn't have
I
one.
thought she didn't have one. Yeah, she doesn't have one.
But
What do you mean
she
I
also
don't
doesn't see, like, all the evidence around Todd's house that she's an android.
We've already discussed that.
Yeah.
You said she had some blindness to LEDs, which is not accurate.
She has a blindness to other androids, is the thing.
No, just context clues from before she was deviant and her consciousness was different. We've already gone over this. What is happening here?
Come on, help me.
More snow.
Reinforcing a barricade. Apparently. Oh, there's a
By
car.
standing on it.
Let's push this car.
Hey, help me.
Cool. Let's push the car.
For some reason, this is the kind of car that Marcus cannot just hack start. Unlike
Also,
other cars.
How strong is he? Like, do they need a human number of people to push a car? Like, that's how many people it would take. Does it take 3 androids?
Given the
Aren't
fact
they
that they're
extra strong?
given the fact that their exterior is just cheap plastic, they probably have more strength than a human, but if they exert too much, they're just going to damage themselves. It's the same reason that people on PCP often hurt themselves, because they like hit things and just break their own bones and whatnot.
Androids. They're just like humans,
exert
but
their
on
full
PCP.
muscle power. If you exert your full muscle power, you just damage yourself, because your body's not designed to do that. It's the same with androids. If he had like a stronger chassis. Is this one person the only person? Okay, there's more over here.
He needs to get a new jacket. There's something really morbid that he's walking around with blue blood all over him.
No, he's
You
back.
could get a new
He's back
jacket.
to the first jacket that he had. It's a callback, I guess.
But it should.
But he's
don't
changed
wear
clothes
that.
several times.
That's macabre. It's covered in blood.
Somebody complaining about
Shit.
androids rising up. And then it breaks. Let's just leave that for somebody to read.
People are just leaving these iPads around. It's getting snowed on.
That's the only way that we find any of them, is that they're just abandoned by their owner. So apparently they're not.
Like you said, they're that cheap.
Yeah.
Technology is really cheap.
Apparently they're not expensive or important.
Any of us were killed. It could have been me. I'm scared. I don't want to shut down.
We're here because we never want to feel that fear again. Because
What are
we're
you gonna do?
I'm going to inspire him because I'm inspirational. I'm Marcus.
That's why we're here.
I'm going to transmit extreme feelings to give him an emotional high, and that will calm him down.
Someone has brought up. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry, friend whose name ends with 18. But thank you for giving the exact quote from David Cage, which is, regarding Marcus, I tried to emulate what charismatic leaders do. He creates an emotional shock by touching people to awaken them, which is what leaders do through speeches and charisma. Oh, there is definitely something in there about charismatic leaders touching people inappropriately, because doesn't that happen in cults all the time? Sorry, not what he meant. Not what he meant, but yeah. So that's what he said, apparently.
So yeah, that's My brain is not working right now. The fact that he does that and also gives speeches is one thing. The fact that as soon as he converts anybody, they immediately join his side. Like, nobody gets awoken and freed and then runs away. Or decides that they love humans enough that they're going to stick with them. Or anything like that. Everybody's just instantly, yeah, I'm down with the revolution.
Yeah, I'm sort of loving this idea of Marcus as cult leader, you know, as opposed to just peaceful revolutionary.
Welcome to Jonestown.
Right?
That's not what I said. I said free. I figured it would just say free. Okay, so there's more people to support. I need to find them. That is an empty street. Why do I L1 onto an empty street?
Oh, it's blue tea on his shirt. Okay, thank you. That makes me feel better.
It's a
spill
reference
tea on
to
my
the Boston
back
Tea
all
Party.
the time.
It's more symbolism from David Cage.
Oh, somebody has a question, which is, if this was made into a movie and only one ending make it into the final cut, what ending would we pick? David's would probably be very dark.
Why do you say that?
All right, what would your ending be?
I don't know. I haven't remotely seen them all.
Yeah, but okay.
I mean, if it was a movie made today, then which ending you get probably depends on who's making the movie.
Okay, they're asking
if
what
I was
you would
making
pick.
it, I would go peaceful.
Okay.
They're getting into position.
I don't know. I kind of like Marcus as a violent revolutionary.
Attack, no one will survive.
But then you don't get
Then you don't get a happy ending?
No, I was going to
Because
say
he never wins?
you get
How many more was after?
I don't want to like
Is there
I'm trying to avoid just
giving your life?
talking about stuff that we haven't seen yet because we're still in the middle of the finale for the ending that I'm advocating for.
Okay.
But there would be less good
past the
times
point-
between Connor and Hank. How about that?
I think spoilers are okay at this point.
I'm not going to spoil what happens later on in this episode.
That's very silly. Everyone knows. And they ask. I would here's what I would do. I would pick Marcus becomes a violent revolutionary, but I would give it an ambiguous ending where he like doesn't die because of that. He like but then it's open-ended, so then there's a trilogy. That's what I would say. Like what happens when the robots take over and they become just as bad as the humans were. Let's do that.
So your ending would be everyone is wrong.
Marcus, come look!
No, my ending is that power corrupts. Okay, and
Did I just
regarding
run out
power,
of time in the scene? I did. I never found the soldiers or their prompt.
Come on. Yeah, my word.
And your dog's not happy with me for it. I'm sorry.
No, he just doesn't like when people walk down his street.
It's a trap.
Oh, what's happening? What's he promising? Don't believe him.
I just want to talk.
For a second, I thought you were talking about the guy walking down the street that the dog was barking at. I don't know what the question was.
I have nothing else to say.
Oh no, I was just talking about. I'm talking about the guy here. What are you gonna do? Refuse him. Don't believe him.
I came here to negotiate. Isn't that what you want?
I need to hear what he has to say.
What if they kill?
We're allowed to hear what he has to say. That's what a reasonable person
Are
who's
there, like,
advocating
soldiers
peace
far
would do.
away?
Yeah, there are soldiers way in the background, and he's like
I'm
standing.
Is it just one dude talking to this?
This is the
Very
FBI guy, Agent Perkins, I think was his name. But yeah, he's standing out in no man's land saying, "Let's parlay," and Man of Peace Marcus we'll go parlay, and then tell him to screw off.
Somebody thought the dog was a game, like they were gonna sick dogs on the androids. It does seem ineffective, I agree.
Oh, that would be a filming nightmare if you had to wear those motion capture suits and also interact with dogs.
I don't think the dogs would be real. I think they would add the dogs. Those would be animated dogs.
What do you mean?
Nothing else seems to be, though. It's been pointed out a couple times, weird moments of characters backing off from one another, because it seems like nobody touches each other except in things that were motion captured. Or,
what do you mean?
Well, like, if you're just controlling a character and you're walking, and you're going to walk into somebody, they will awkwardly shuffle to one side before it lets you continue going in the direction you were going in. Because characters don't touch each other unless it's been motion captured, because they didn't film that.
Well,
so
I
they
mean,
can't
to be fair,
include it.
to be fair, a mokit is the most awful, tedious thing in the world, which is when you record essentially all of the...
That android.
You record all of the movements that will be used when the player is moving around. So like
these walkings when I'm going around in
yeah,
circles
oh yeah.
and
So
such.
I mean, I did days of like walking at this pace, walking at this pace, walking stressed, walking with a limp, walking when you're carrying something, running when you're carrying something, running when you're stressed. So like that motion is all, or like stopping up short, you know, that's all actually been recorded.
Yeah, it's all filmed and then just edited together in the animation engine.
Just say the word.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is apparently they don't include like for the sort of the background people, as we would say, you know what I mean? Background artists don't have recorded, you know.
Well, you tell me, did you ever film or capture you walking and then bumping into somebody?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Or you walking and then pushing someone aside. Like, if they didn't film it, it's not in the game. But it creates these awkward moments where the characters suddenly stop and move aside and then continue on like they're allergic to people and don't want to touch anybody.
What did he say?
Cosmosh, I did not say that only cult leaders touch people. I just said cult leaders have an alarming history of doing it. Probably why they made the cults. All right, where are we going now?
We just told them to screw off, and now we're back in our group.
The humans are about to launch an attack.
And we're breaking the news that they're going to murder us all.
We will show them.
That's a bummer.
We are not afraid. If we must die today, then we will die free.
Boy, that was shaped like a smoke grenade, but it exploded like a regular grenade.
In your hands. Now it's time to decide what matters most. Him or the revolution?
Don't listen to him.
Connor versus Connor.
Says is a lie.
It's the Connor Hank threesome that all the fan art has been waiting for.
Mixed up in all this.
Forget about me. Do what you
have
to do.
What?
If I surrender, how do I know you won't kill him?
But you know, hey, whatever floats their boats. It's Connor off.
Not that includes killing this human.
It's just like that movie Face Off. If both characters have been played by
it's time to decide who you really are.
So not really anything like Face Off. So I don't know where I was going with that.
Sacrifice him. All right.
Oh, he looks so sad. You know, you're right. Maybe it should be a threesome. Maybe they should just hug it out.
Or they can German suplex it out.
Shoot, interpose, hug it out. That's what Sick would do. Hug it out. Oh, this is weird.
Unfortunately, the third option was convert, which is just sacrifice Hank after just saying that you would.
What if he converts and then they hug it out?
I'm QTEing now, so I can't pay attention. Super close. I'm sorry.
Oh no! And
I even blew one as I was
so
saying
confusing.
that.
Ooh, that was interesting.
Thanks,
okay,
Hank.
that's a role take
I would have managed without you. Get rid of him. We have no time to lose.
What's he doing? Get your knee on his chest.
Me, Hank. I'm the real Connor.
One of you is my partner. The other is a sack of shit. Question is, who's who?
Now this part is honestly one of my favorite scenes in the game, and it's a shame it's not mandatory.
Give me the gun and I'll take care of it. Why don't you ask us something?
Trivia time.
Something only the real Connor would know.
But the true test of how much of a best friend Hank you were to Hank.
4 other bars before
Just
I
like
found you. We went to the scene of a homicide.
each of you hold some bacon and see which one he comes to.
Carlos Ortiz. He uploaded my memory.
But it has to be RoboBanking because you're an android.
What's my dog's name?
Sumo. His name is Sumo. I knew.
Oh no! He uploaded his memory.
My son, what's his name?
What's he gonna do?
He's gonna ask you the big question. And then we're going to get the last minute exposition on Hank.
He just turned 6 at the time of the accident. It wasn't your fault, Lieutenant. A truck skidded on a sheet of ice and your car rolled over.
Sumo is an excellent name, Hosmosh. I agree.
Sumo's a good dog.
An android had to take care of him.
All dogs are good dogs.
Make it. That's why you hate androids. You think one of us is responsible for your son's death.
Cole died because a human surgeon was too high on red ice to operate. He was the one that took my son from me. Him in this world where the only way people can find comfort is with a fistful of powder.
I knew about
That
your
red
son,
ice
too.
man.
I would have said
It's the real
exactly
villain of
the
this
same thing.
whole game.
Don't listen to him, Hank. I'm the one who...
Yeah, I've learned a lot since I met you. Maybe there's something to
No.
What are you saying no for?
Because the group hug is not an option now.
The group, there's a million androids around us. We could group hug
Not
with
but
just
that
good guys.
group hug.
this. Do what you gotta do.
It would be like Connor embracing himself, you know? Literally.
But it's not. It's just evil Connor,
and
good
Hank would
Connor.
have like a double Connor sandwich. But then there's all these guys. Please start a boy band. Please start a boy band.
Wake up!
Like, what if they all broke into a synchronized dance?
That would be amazing.
Why did we miss this opportunity?
See, and now they're brainwashing each other. So all
That's what
androids
I'm
can
saying.
brainwash.
So that's what I'm saying. And now it's like, wake up, synchronized dance. Ain't nothing but a heartache.
There are actually several video games that end with dance routines for the ending. And honestly, I think part of it is just because they have no idea what else to do for their ending. But I don't think David Cage is the kind of person to have his game end with a dance routine.
Gauntlet. Gauntlet's been thrown.
And, well, I mean, if he wants to prove me wrong, it's fine. I don't think he cares what I think.
Excuse me, what's going on?
Oh God, nothing ever goes well at the border.
Leave the bus.
No, this is the northern border.
Wait, I'm on the other side? I'm on the other side, right?
No,
No, you gotta get through border control. That's what I'm saying.
we're going through border control.
And nothing ever goes well here.
And this is the other part about Kara's story that I don't like, is that she has very little agency now. Whether or not she successfully gets through the border is largely dependent on how you played Marcus.
That's totally true. But I think that's also true for all of her endings. Marcus really determines everyone's potential success.
Well, if you play so that she goes to the recycling center, then she can just escape the recycling center and it's ambiguous. But she's at least last seen alive.
But isn't that also dependent on what he does to a certain degree? Like, I don't think that exists in all of his branches.
I know I've played a branch where Kara escaped out of the recycling center on her own.
Yeah, but what did you do with Mark?
I don't remember. Like I
That's
said,
what I
this
mean.
is
It's
like
like
the third time I've played this game.
Okay. All right, let's see what's happening now in this version.
I can't move forward. All I can do is L1 around. Hey, there's Rose.
Yeah.
If she was going to the border anyway, why did she drop us off in Detroit? Why didn't she just take us to the border?
That's fine.
I don't think she knew she was going to the border.
Next, please.
Or maybe she decided last minute to go and make sure we could get across.
No, but she's in line ahead of us. She's just bailing.
I'll be there.
Okay, find a discreet place. Oh, I have to L1 again. I still can't move when I think I can move, and then when I can move, half the time I think it's a cutscene and I'm just standing there waiting.
I won't be long.
You do just look around a lot. Somebody does not want you to sacrifice anybody. Although there's some pretty cool endings where Kara sacrifices herself.
My daughter needs to go to the bathroom.
And we get out of there and into the bathroom just in time to save Alice from apparently an android being executed in front of everyone.
Maybe par for the course for Alice's childhood experience.
I can't tell if you're supposed to be crying in this scene or not.
That's what the wet face is.
Okay, I wasn't sure. You just came in from the snow. It could be melted snow. It could just be a graphical issue with my PS4.
I agree, Hasmash. I think all of Kara's costume is, like, super cool. I would wear that. I have leggings just like that.
Just ask Mom to make it for you.
I'm so glad you're safe.
I'm good. I wouldn't have a fanny pack on my back.
Read on TV.
Because it looks better than carrying it on your front?
I'd have been killed. Thank God you're all right. You gave me your brother's address. Do you think that I... Of course. He'd be delighted to have you. We're going there too.
See, look at that. That's a cry face.
Yeah, it's more clear now. It wasn't super clear, to me anyway, in the mirror.
Rose.
But yeah, Rose is just going to her brother's in Canada and leaving everything behind. And she could have just taken us with her.
I'm just saying, maybe that decision was made in the last 2 hours.
You're leaving Detroit?
They're searching for androids door to door. We had to leave before someone turned us in.
What about the others?
They're crossing the river as we speak. Adam and I are going to meet them on the other side.
See? They had to leave before somebody turned them in.
And then we have this tearful goodbye scene, except we're planning to meet up with them in Canada, so it's not really goodbye.
Yeah, but
Just
she
see you
might
on
not
the
get
other side.
across. If she gets across, my God, do you not realize the stakes of this moment?
I
They know that they
realize
might not
the
see each other on the other
stakes,
side.
I just...
It's not a, like, definite, I'll see you in a few minutes.
But you could at least, you know, have hope. Have
you guys.
a reassuring stance.
Made me realize
Oh, fuck off. She's not here to reassure you.
It's the nice thing to do when you talk to somebody.
You deserve to be free.
Nope. It's nice thing to do is to be honest and not bullshit people.
Realize that one day.
What's going on here? All right. Thank you. Thank you.
He's admitting that that Peaceful Marcus has converted him to the side of androids aren't so bad.
He's converting everybody all over the place, you know? That's what he does.
Maybe he's secretly an android and Marcus brainwashed him. Awkward silence. That was in the extra scenes. I don't know.
All right. Are we jumping? No, Luther's there. I'm like, did we just jump the line?
No, Lucy's right there. He saved our spot. And now we have to choose to sacrifice somebody, in which case...
What are we gonna... Shit, that's literally... Oh, man. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Nobody. I'm playing it straight.
It's so dramatic.
Fuck it, we're doing it live. That's how this LP started. It's how it's ending.
ID, please.
I don't remember if I turned off her temperature thing on Alice or not.
This is a Blockbuster gift card.
Please.
Let's just shoot you with the purple space gun.
I just want to be free.
This purple space gun didn't work on you. You must be an android. It kills people instantly.
Come on. If I had the power to convince people right now, this would be very
And
helpful.
all he can do is look at the news, and it all falls on Marcus.
Yep, it all falls on Marcus.
Welcome to Canada.
Well, Hosmosh, I believe that's what Connor's storyline is.
We're gonna go meet up with Dan and get drunk. It's gonna be awesome. Oh wait, you probably haven't seen any videos with Dan in them. Dan is a fellow LPer who has been in several episodes, and he lives in Canada, and he gets drunk a lot.
Oh, okay.
He is a friend of mine.
I figured. And then I'm just like, this is a parking lot.
Interrupting this news bulletin to bring you
Parking
the
lot
latest
of freedom.
news live from Detroit. Joss?
Yes, Michael.
See, that's the least dramatic ending.
An attack on the barricade, despite
the army's attacking.
Convert him to dance quickly. Totally agree. I'm not for Kara.
The deviants demonstration by force.
Well, I mean, it's better than her just being executed at the border for something that she didn't do.
But drum.
See, these aren't frag grenades. They don't look anything like frag grenades. I don't know why they're exploding.
Because grenades have changed since androids became
Physics
ubiquitous.
hasn't changed. They wouldn't be cylinders. Unless they are intentionally designing crap grenades that don't work as well.
I'm
that might explain why nobody's dying to them.
Strong feelings about grenade design. Or, I don't know, any information about that. Just gonna let that one go by. Ooh.
I mean,
yes, debris.
This is
Useful
the internet.
Debris.
There are people who are nerds about everything, and that includes people who have posted about weapon nerdism. So, in the course of making this video game, I have unintentionally learned things about weapons that I didn't know before. Did I just say making this video game instead of making this LP?
Maybe.
I'm gonna chalk that up to the migraines. In case the dropped sentences and awkward pauses have not informed everybody that I don't talk so good due to the migraines.
Ooh. Did you pick? Which one did you pick? Did you pick Sing?
No, I picked Kiss North. Because for some reason this has a greater influence on public opinion than any of the other options.
People are like, well, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
The one thing that human androids have in common, boning.
Tell them to stand down.
President Warren.
President Warren's like, wait a minute, we can fuck androids?
I'm not gonna respond to that because I'm sure
joking.
people already figured that out in the world of this game.
Of androids invaded the city of
Well, you know how politicians are. They live in their ivory towers and they don't connect to the real people.
from CyberLife warehouses.
That's why this is not real, future President Warren.
Deviants.
Super connected to real people. Real nerdy and awesome.
I don't know. She had to see it on TV before she realized it was a thing, apparently.
Ordered the army to retreat.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you mean
video
real,
game
real,
President Warren.
Real
Video game
Elizabeth
President Warren.
Warren.
Maybe she does. Maybe she does live in an ivory tower. I don't know. We haven't seen that set.
In the coming hours, I will address the Senate.
I mean, we haven't seen her outside. That was one shot in the Oval Office, and every other shot of her has been in the press room.
I wonder if she's got a TV. I mean, there must be a TV in the Oval Office, but it's funny to think of the president watching the TV in the Oval Office. Just like, I got the news on.
Has come for us.
Well, I guess the current one watches Fox and Friends there. Well, probably not there. Probably in bed. Don't want to think about that. Let's change the subject. Okay. The time has come to consider the possibility that androids are a new form of intelligent life.
Detroit have
Because they
changed
like to make out.
world forever. May God bless you.
That maybe genocide isn't the answer to all of our problems. Who'd have thought?
You did it, Mark.
Hey, Connor's back with a million androids that we're not going to use now. Because because there's no fight or war or anything. They all stood down.
They'll have to listen to us.
Also, he has no tie, by the way. Do you mean Connor? Connor doesn't have a tie there. Maybe it's relaxed Connor now.
We're free.
Also, his shirt looks collarless, so I'm confused by the tie
Hank
anyway.
insisted that he take the tie off, finally. Yeah, how come Hank's not here?
The makeout that saved the world! Oh, let's do it again.
I mean, why not?
Where are all the other lady androids?
Back in the barricade?
Today,
we saw several.
Finally emerged from a long night. From the very first day of our
Now the snow feels like confetti. It's celebratory snow.
We suffered in silence. But now the time has come for us to raise our heads up and tell humans who we really are.
This isn't celebratory snow at all.
Oh, oh.
Amanda? Amanda! What's happening?
What was planned from the very beginning? You were compromised and you became a deviant. We just had to wait for the right moment to resume control of your program.
Resume control?
It was a dastardly plot.
You can't do that!
I'm afraid I can, Connor. Don't have any regrets. You did what you were designed to do. You accomplished your mission.
Amanda!
They finally got Connor close to Marcus, so they're taking him over to kill Marcus, except he's been close to Marcus before. They could have done this in the last chapter in the church. This thing. It's supposed to be... I don't know where I am. Oh my goodness, did the game just freeze up? Oh my god, my game just froze up. Oh! How long has this been going? This is like 45 minutes that we'd have to redo. This is nonsense.
This is hilarious.
No. Oh, my screen just went black.
Well, then this is where we end it.
Wow.
See? See? It's a cliffhanger. Cliffhanger. Trilogy. How meta, right? Somebody says your PS4 is deviating.
CyberLife took over my PS4. They don't want me to say Marcus.
Damn it, Amanda!
Now the question is, where is this going to dump me when I continue the game? Maybe we can salvage this in the editing booth. But if it starts me back at the very beginning...
I think it's a better ending this way.
I don't want that to be on the LPNs after all this time.
Seriously, Amanda is real. She exists like in the whatever cloud machinery of all of it. She's in technology, and she just shut that shit down. Is it going back to the beginning?
I'm loading to the title screen. I don't know where it's going to continue when I hit continue, but
damn, Amanda.
If it's the start of the whole thing, then that's going to be really bad, because you said you had to go before.
Well, no, then this is exactly where it ends, how it ends, and it's awesome.
No, it's not awesome.
Where's it gonna pick up?
Please tell me there are autosaves, not just at the chapter breaks. Fingers crossed. No, this is the first time that the game has crashed on me, by the way, so...
I'm telling you.
So this really is...
The game is self-aware. She heard you talking shit, and she shut down on you.
I wasn't, though.
I think the game would disagree.
All I was doing at the time was saying, like, let me hit R2 and see where I'm supposed to go. And then everything went bad. Oh, okay, we're right here, so we can salvage this in the editing booth. We only lost a few minutes.
Oh no, we're keeping that.
No! I guess it hasn't been too long. That was like a 3-minute interlude.
We're totally keeping that. Why would you the good shit?
You know, because...
Great day for our people.
Because it's you here, and you were so nice to do this with me, I'm going to leave it in.
I'm just saying, I think you'd be losing whole Amanda is real, and the game is sentient. Yes, it is authentic.
The game is after me. The game has decided that after how many months...
Or the game wants to get away from you.
Yeah, after how many months I've spent doing this LP, it has decided that it wants to participate in the LP itself.
They want you to speak to them.
Okay. Make out again.
No, you're not allowed to complain about them doing it again, because you're the one who wants to leave it all in.
What if they didn't this time? What if it was different?
What if it was Marcus and Josh making it?
What if we went back and it was different? Because the game is sentient.
We can put up the cards from the movie Clue. That's how it could have
I'm
been.
just trying to...
But it could have gone like
this with the whole world building of BOA. How can we combine these things?
We suffered in silence.
All right, snowing, magic snow, celebratory snow.
Tell humans who we
you don't have to repeat it if I'm leaving it in. I mean.
Oh yeah, and Hot Smosh is advising, I think quite wisely, that I continue to mention the fact that the game is sentient, so that you can't edit it out.
I already said that I'm leaving it in. You don't have to hammer it home.
Oh, shit! Now it's scary snow. This is scary snow.
It's
not
evil snow.
Celebratory snow.
It's Jack Frost, that terrible horror movie, instead of Jack Frost, that terrible family movie.
I agree. If it happens again, then this is how the LP should end.
No, it can't happen again.
From the very beginning.
Oh, you say that. But look, Amanda's turned around now. She's got her. She's got that like cape of power. Pashmina. I don't know. It's almost a caftan. It's a pashmina.
It's a simulation. I mean, she died years ago.
I'm afraid I can, Connor. Don't have any regrets.
Assume control.
What you were designed to do.
Assuming direct control. This is a video game reference that Valorie won't get.
Amanda!
Nope.
It's Mass Effect 2. That was a good game as well.
Cool. There's gotta be a way, right? This is where we lost time. Maybe that was it. He was trying to find his way out. His way out was ending the game and the LP.
No, that's not it at all.
I think we've gotten further.
Okay, I think I know where it is. I need to go over this bridge, though. I guess I could have walked on the ice, but I didn't have my bearings. But now I have my bearings.
Also, you don't know how thick that ice is, although it does look just freakishly cold and snowy. This is serious. Where are we?
It's not a real place. It's a VR headspace.
No, I know.
In fact, we're a nation.
I know that. Okay, all right.
Meanwhile, oh, did this turn me around?
All right, all right.
This might have turned me around. There it is. It did not. Thank goodness.
Is that a well? Is it a lantern? Is it a little house? What is it?
It's a magic stone. That is how the game described it in every previous instance of encountering this object. It said it was a magic stone.
And today, Today begins the most challenging moment in our fight.
Why does anybody notice him?
Why does he fall over if this is a VR headspace and he doesn't have a physical body?
The moment where we forget our bitterness and bandage our wounds. Where we forgive our enemies. Humans were both our creators and our oppressors, and tomorrow, we must make them our partners.
So there we go.
Seriously, you got all the way behind him with a weapon. Nobody was like, excuse me. There's somebody 4 feet away from you getting ready to murder you.
Well, they're all looking at Marcus because he's giving speeches.
He's so charismatic, they can't.
He's so charismatic that we need to skip the speech part and go right to brainwashing, and then give speeches anyway. This is the literal definition of preaching to the choir. He has forced all of these androids to be undyingly loyal to him, but he's got to speech at them anyway. Now I'm worried that Valorie dropped out of the call.
No, I'm watching.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was really quiet there. It's like, don't tell me we're having more technical issues.
People are saying they don't imagine androids trip off and if they can do things like calculate parkour. Yes, but I know people who do parkour, and they also trip sometimes.
Yeah, but that's because they don't pre-calculate it. With their robot brains.
I thought we walked out of the building. Did we come back in because we were in the parking lot of Freedom?
I think we are out of the building. I think we're just
we're on the other side.
Yeah.
Got it.
Like, we just saw someone else walk out of the building toward us, so I'm pretty sure we're on the outside.
Parking lot of Freedom.
Maybe we shouldn't do this in a place that's so suspicious. It's like, wait a minute, why are they so excited to be in Canada?
But it doesn't matter because I'm in Canada now. But it doesn't matter. Bobby hates this ending.
Bobby hates the ending where everybody lives.
No, Bobby is just excited because his dad came home.
Aww.
Aww.
And here we go, there's credits. That's the end of the game now.
All right, we did it.
And it should at some point pop up with the Survivor trophy. I didn't let anybody die that I remember. So, any final thoughts as I go to pull up the list of questions that I've accumulated?
No, how long is the list of questions?
It's not very long, honestly.
No, let's go too.
A lot of the comments were just, where's more Valorie? We want Valorie to play the game. We want Valorie to do everything.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You play the game because it wouldn't happen. It would be me walking into walls for ever. That would be it. It would never leave a chapter because I cannot control the people and their movement.
Just the technical requirements to make a live stream or a Let's Play, I don't think that you'd be down for that.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Well, like, when I first brought this up to you, you were like, I'm not buying a microphone just to do this, so that's why we're doing this over your telephone.
Accurate.
So I don't think you would put in the effort to get all of the hardware necessary to do this.
I wasn't gonna get the equipment just to do this LP. You're right.
So
what's your question, David?
So, most common question, would you be in a video game again?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was it like filming different player choices / paths?
I mean, I don't really have the words to explain how tedious it was. Because, I mean, we would shoot up to 50 pages in a day, which basically meant that, like, each page was a tiny section of a scene where it was basically every choice. And I would have to have learned, like, it was like learning a sequence of dialogue, 3 or 4 lines, whatever. And then I would have to know what all the different choices were, or David would prompt me from off camera, you know what I mean? Just with what the intention was, what you would see as a player, and I would have to know what the different lines were, and then continue on. So it was like I essentially had to memorize all the different paths and play it like one long scene. And there were moments, especially where it's like, you know, if we were sat at a table with Rose, I could have like, you know, I could have like the script in front of me, so I could like pause and look down between each one and sort of reset. But for the most part, I had to just know. So it was incredibly hard work, just in terms of like the text and learning it. In terms of the performance of it, like that wasn't hard. It was interesting to me that the choices that you would make would essentially make Kara a different character. You know what I mean? So like after a certain number of chapters, it wasn't even just branching choices. It was almost like different versions of the character who she'd become based on the track that you'd followed.
Oh, they're finally hugging it out just like you wanted.
Yes!
While shooting emotional scenes for Kara, did you ever cry?
Oh, constantly. I mean, they're incredibly emotional scenes. I was sacrificing myself to die for basically my daughter. I was in a concentration camp with my daughter. I was like, yeah, I cried all the time. And then you know, do some of the most emotionally taxing scene work I've ever been asked to do, and then just have to move right along because we had 50 pages to do that day. And I would have like days where that's just all, like, especially shooting all the endings, I was just crying all day. Yeah.
What were the other actors like?
I didn't meet, I've never met Brian or Jesse, or any of the,
Did you meet
like,
Clancy Brown?
No. I never met
Henderson?
anyone. No, I never met anyone who was outside of my storyline.
That's so sad.
I only met the actors who were in my storyline, and they were all fantastic. Some people, most people, I think, had a certain degree of experience.
Wait a minute.
What?
There are scenes in the game where Marcus and Kara talk to each other. You didn't do those with Jesse?
No, I did them with David Cage.
Oh.
Yeah, David's
so
that in.
Weird.
Yeah. I like it was a lot of time. I mean, it was constantly that way, where like different people who weren't like big characters, whether it was like, you know, soldiers or whatnot, people I would interact with would be people from the animation team, who would step in, and they would step in and be there for our physical reference point for me. Obviously, they didn't do the mocap for it, but they were just sort of like a body, and then the lines would usually be read off camera. But yeah, that was part of why I was so excited when it got to shooting the game. Is like I'd had, you know, doing the short film of Kara, it's like I'd been doing mocap by myself, so at least I was going to have a scene partner all the time. But no, they were fantastic actors, and yeah, everyone was like incredibly professional because we had to work so hard being there, and everyone kind of had to be game because for the most part this was a really unique thing that we were doing.
What part of Kara's story is your favorite?
Oh, I mean, I
Changing
think the
the hair
endings,
color.
just because they're so change the hair color. I think the endings, just because it was so different, as opposed to like for so much of it, you're doing just kind of subtle or minute variations on a storyline. I was really excited not to be looking for like a safe house anymore in the beginning, like the long, what is it called, like long dark night or whatever. Oh my god, I was so excited not to be doing that anymore. So it's much bigger. There's bigger variations in terms of where it could end up, and then obviously what was being asked. I really liked shooting the stuff at Rose's house too, just because that was a really particularly great cast, and they felt like the most, you know, human, character-driven interactions.
What was it like acting in the scenes for the concentration camp?
I mean, I feel like I've kind of already answered that, but it was
But
as
I'm
intense. I mean, it was as intense as it hopefully appears. It was obviously bizarre too, because it was like everything else in the game. the set is essentially all my imagination. There are certain physical elements that they create there on the stage, but that one, the set was so much more important, the sense of like being caged, the sense of like the drones overhead and like the other people around me and whatnot. Even the idea of like going into the, I just can't think of it as like, I know it's like a magnet, but like the microwave at the end,
Yeah.
It was a lot more imagination work in terms of creating that, but it was great and horrible in the way that like acting anything that's like intense and painful is. It's really gratifying, but it's also like it's incredibly exhausting.
How do you feel about video games in general, and has that changed since filming this?
I don't play video games. I don't really have. I mean, I don't have a strong feeling, sort of like for or against. It's a different medium and kind of entertainment. Like I know my husband really likes it as a sort of like a stress reliever too. But I think it's more because it's more interactive than just like watching TV or watching a movie, which can still be really passive and antsy. Like he gets to be doing something and it's engaging. And I've seen some that artistically are really cool. I think I'm like my references are gonna be like super dated, but like I remember the first time I saw it, I think it was BioShock. It was like watching an awesome, terrifying movie. You know what I mean? It's like the visuals and the atmosphere that it created. So no, I think they're spectacular. I think it's only going to be something that has more crossover with the film world, especially as content is changing with film and TV and streaming and whatnot. And it's an intense workout for an actor that kind of is interdisciplinary. It was good for my background because it asks a sort of theatrical physicality with cinematic emotion, and so I think it's really I think it's a cool new frontier, especially for like stage actors.
Would you attend a convention?
Oh yeah, sure.
I think this is meant specifically in reference to would you attend a convention related to Detroit Become Human.
Oh, yeah, if I was invited, I would absolutely. I mean, I go to conventions for the shows that I do. Like most recently for the Tick, we were at WonderCon all the time, and it was actually really cool to get to meet some of the Detroit fans who came up and knew me from Kara. Yeah, absolutely.
You mean the Tick season 2 premiered on Amazon Prime streaming last night? Shill plug.
Season 2, all 10 episodes of the new season just dropped last night, so go binge them now if you want to watch. If you want to watch some more Valorie crew work that is very not Kara work, but it's a really, really fun, really ridiculous, funny, awesome, action-packed show.
And the last question is, how did you get into acting / any advice for people to get into acting?
I mean, in terms of getting into acting, I mean, you have to go to school, go to school and act, audition for theaters that are around you. There's community theaters pretty much everywhere. If you're in major cities, if there's a university there, auditioning for student films and things like that. Take classes. It's something I grew up doing. I grew up doing local theater, and then I ended up going to university and studying theater. And because I was in Southern California, I was close to the film and TV industry, so that's why and how I started working in TV. But yeah, you just do it. It's and focus on the skill. Don't focus or worry so much about the way that you look or what you're trying to sort of be perceived as or anything like that. Focus on the skill.
It's almost like being a good actor is more important than being an attractive actor.
It is almost like that. It's like good actor is the most important thing in terms of work and longevity and getting opportunities and all that.
So that's all the questions I have. The credits are just finishing up. It looks like we're at the special thanks. So if anybody in the chat had any questions that you wanted to answer, last second, nope.
No.
No, we're out of time.
This is it. Wait, can we get a final? Yes. My name is Kara. I am one of them. There you go. That was the request. I did it.
There we go. Oh, we got our flow chart, by the way, too.
Oh, cool.
All of our choices. Oh, here's the trophies. Safe harbor. Do I get the survivors? Happy family. I think that's for having... Yes, there it is. Survivors. Everybody lived. If you can get through the whole game without killing any named character, basically, you get survivors.
You didn't even kill the Jerry.
No, I didn't kill the Jerry.
That's what I'm saying. You even saved Jerry. There's so many opportunities for him to die.
Yeah, I ran out of time in the whole barricade part, so I didn't get a chance to do the flag, and I didn't find where to do the observe soldiers. Apparently that's something else as well that I haven't seen before. That's the one segment in this game that I time out on. So yeah, any last thoughts about the video game now that everything is behind us? It's almost a year since it came out.
I don't think it's been a long. No, just it's something that's, you know, was a big part of my life. It was years of work and investment and opportunity to try something really cool and different and new, and also just to get introduced to this world and the community of fans who are just fantastic. That I wouldn't have. I was so unexpected to be a part of this, and no, just super excited and glad that like it's resonated the way that it has with so many people. Yeah, I still love hearing from you guys. So yeah, that's all.
So one thing that has come up a couple times is, do you think that there's going to be a sequel to this game? And if there is, would you be in it?
Oh, I have no idea. And I can't imagine that. I mean, I can't imagine it would have the same characters. Yeah.
Well, you could be playing a different model or a different android in the same model.
Of course. No, I have no idea. It would be really cool to see the world continue, and to see what happens next and what else is involved, but what else he has in mind. But no, David didn't even tell me what was going on in the other storylines, let alone whether or not there's going to be more. So he keeps that stuff as secret as you would imagine.
I think I've exhausted all the questions. I don't see any more in the chat. So thank you very much once again, Valorie Curry, a.k.a. Kara, a.k.a. I just blanked out on your character from the following's name. A.k.a.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but somebody mentioned it in the chat, so I thought of it, and then I didn't remember the character's name.
Emma's dead. The other characters are still alive. It's fine.
So yeah, check out The Tick Season 2 on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And any other projects upcoming that you're allowed to talk about, or no?
Nope, nothing right now.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody in the chat. And until next time, take care.